Mother Teresa, and you just pouring out yourself. I like Paul said. He said, the time of my departure is at hand, and I'm ready to be poured out like a drink offering. When you're ready to be poured out like a drink offering, you're ready to just pour out of your soul to anybody who's willing. That's how I feel at this point in my life. As a pastor, I just feel like, y'all, you got a pastor who's willing to be poured out. You got a pastor who's willing to pour out all the wisdom that God has given me over the years. And I'm just looking for somebody who's ready to receive it. I'm trying to find like the Lord. The Bible says the eyes of the Lord search to and fro throughout the whole earth to see a man whose heart is perfect to him. I'm trying to find out today, is there anybody in this church who's ready to receive some stuff that God has given me over 30 years? 30 years of walking with him. And I'm trying to pour it out. But I just need to find a vessel. Who's ready so that when my number's called, when the Bible says, teach us, Lord, how to number our days. Do you realize you only got so many days? And when your time is up, you can't buy an extra day. You can't say, well, you can't buy a vowel. You can't say, is there an A? You can't. When your time is up, it's up. And before that time is up, you better pour it out so that you can go up. You better have poured out to somebody so the Lord can look at you and say, well done, my good and faithful servant. I'm here to tell you, in case you didn't know it, I've been to enough funerals that at the end of your life, the word well is going to be mentioned. It's either going to be well done, my good and faithful servant, or well. What can we say about him? Didn't do nothing. Didn't help nobody. Didn't show no love to nobody. Oh yeah, he had the nicest car. Oh yeah, she had the nicest clothes. Oh yeah, I mean, it was blinking everywhere, but they didn't do nothing for nobody. And God's going to say, well, I never knew you. Depart from me, you worker of iniquity, I never knew you. Somebody say, I don't want that well. Church, God's going to bless you. He's going to bless you greatly so that your contribution to others will be great. Secondly, God's going to bless you greatly so that your name will be great. Amen. Do you realize that if you are using your life to bless others, your name will be great? Now I told you this kind of greatness is in this life, but it's also after the life. In other words, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. Way after you go on, your name it just gets greater and greater, generation to generation. You know, it reminds me about something I've learned really recently. I recently have come into a greater knowledge of the contributions of Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington, as a young child, I'm glad to hear the children in here today. You know, Black History Month, I always heard about Booker T. Washington. But I didn't realize what an impact Booker T. Washington made on so many people's lives. The man been dead a long time. But his contribution causes his name to get greater and greater and greater. Who's ever heard of Bill Winston? Anybody ever heard of Bill Winston? Y'all like Bill Winston? Yeah. Booker T. Washington influenced Bill Winston. Because Booker T. Washington, back in the day, when Princeton, Yale, and Harvard were just forming as institutions, Booker T. Washington, down there at Tuskegee, they were producing more millionaires than Princeton, Harvard, and Yale put together. Booker T. Washington was doing that. But let me make it more personal to you. Booker T. Washington affected my life. Because Booker T. Washington affected my grandfather's life. My grandfather was Nye James Tucker, and he was a secretary to Booker T. Washington. And I had no idea until I did the research. But Booker T., he taught my grandfather a lot of things, beautiful penmanship, how to be organized, how to be administrative. And that man, that Nye James Tucker, who was influenced by Booker T. Washington, ended up starting a school. And at that school, where he was the principal of the school, because the school, and guess what the name of the school was? Booker T. Washington. It was called the Booker T. Washington School, elementary and high school was all in one. And it was, at that time, considered a segregated school. But how about this? It was a segregated school, black only, but out of that school, he made sure that the quality of education was so high, including his own family, and out of the 8 children that Nye James, who was a disciple of Booker T, had, all 8 of those children had their master's degree. Amen, somebody. All 8 of them. We're talking about back in the day. Now, wait a minute now. Then, on top of that, 3 of those children were doctors. My father and my 2 uncles, they were all doctors. They built their own building in Watts, in what you would call the worst area in the Los Angeles neighborhood. In Watts, California, they had a multi-level with an elevator. Come on, church. I'm talking with an elevator. We're talking about the 60s, right after the Watts riots. They were prominent people, but we can trace it back to Booker T. Washington's impact on their father. What am I telling you? When God was going to bless you greatly because you are a son of Abraham through Christ, it is beyond what you can imagine, and after you're dead, your works will still be working on your behalf. Give God some praise. 3 doctors came together, built a building. One of them, the first black athlete at Stanford University. Another one, the first black man to be reelected mayor of Compton. These are all great men, but somebody who was blessed. Do you realize that George Washington Carver was a disciple of Booker T. Washington? And when he went to Congress and they examined, they said, how are you building all of these inventions? And he said, well, it's because of this book that I read. And they were like, well, we can really find all the secrets of how you invented all this stuff. How you invent all these countless inventions. What's in the book? He said, it's right here. From Genesis to Revelation. I just looked at this book. Booker T told me, look at this book. And when I have questions, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God. And he give it to anyone who asks liberally. Give God some praise. I'm telling you. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you that God can make your name great. Because you are a child of Abraham through Christ. He promised Abraham he would make his name great, and through Christ, he's going to make your name great. You might not see it all in your lifetime, but just keep on serving the Lord. Generations will come, and people will look back and say, hey, wasn't that person that was a Christian? Look how everything that they touched turned to gold. Look how their family was blessed. Look how their community was blessed. Look how their people was blessed. All because God blessed them greatly. Amen to God. Give God some praise. Amen. Church, lastly, God's going to bless you greatly, so your faith must be great. God's going to bless you greatly. See, in other words, this blessing is way bigger than you can imagine. So your faith's got to be what? Great. Turn your neighbor and say, you need great faith. For this great blessing. Yes, great blessing. Look at this. Look at this. Genesis 12:1. Jehovah told Abraham, he said, get out of your country and your kindred and from your father's house into a land I will show you. Until a land I will show you. Church, what I'm telling you is when God is trying to bless you greatly, listen now, listen, he's got to move you over before he moves you up. Amen. When God is trying to bless you greatly, he's got to move you over before he moves you up. Now, some of y'all look at me like, what you talking about, Pastor? What I'm trying to tell you is when God's going to bless you greatly, it's something that's so big, watch this, that it needs you to obey God without full understanding and move. You got to get repositioned. You got to allow God to reposition you. He always moves you over before he moves you up. You know, something happened recently for I don't know how many years it was, several years. My mother has been living with my sister, one sister or the other, younger sister, older sister, on the west side. And all of a sudden, in the last year, she came to live with me and my wife. God always moves you over before he moves you up. Now, at the time, we didn't understand it. But as you know, we're working on this book. And it used to be we'd work on the book and I have to fight traffic and fight my schedule and fight everything to get over there to get with her so we could, work on this book. And then God moved her right there. Her office is right next to her bedroom, and office is right next to mine. And it's like boot camp. If we had planned it, it couldn't have been any better. God, when God moved her over, she kind of went a little kicking and screaming, but God was trying to bless her. He was trying to bless her. And of course, me and my wife were like, we don't know if she should come live with her. I thank God for a good wife, because she said, your mama can come anytime. We have just bonded, and God has lifted us all up just because he moved her over. Some of us are too comfortable where we are. Some of us are sitting back talking about, well, why I got to go to do members class? Why I got to get filled with the Holy Ghost? Why I got to stay at the church? Why I got to come early this week? Because God's trying to move you over so he can move you up. He's got a blessing with your name on it, but you got to have great faith to receive it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about faith. I'm talking about faith, and I'm talking about great faith that knows no age. I said it knows no age. When God told Abraham to get out of his father's house, listen now, and to move into the promised land, he was 75 years old. Amen? Look at Genesis chapter 12. It says, and Abraham departed, praise the Lord. Genesis chapter 12 and verse number 4. And Abram departed, even as Jehovah had spoken to him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Amen? Listen, what I'm trying to tell you is God is still in the blessing business. I don't care if you're 75, 85, or 95. But you got to realize that faith is acting upon what God said in spite of appearances, opinions, feeling, and understanding. You might not understand that thing, but honey, just go with the flow. Just go with what God said. Because you're not going to understand why he's telling you. You gotta go, and you gotta stop. Stop watching TV this week. Stop eating that next week. God will tell you a lot of things. He's trying to move you over. And I don't know if anybody here ever played chess. If you've never played chess, let me tell you something. In chess, there are three basic periods in the game. There's the beginning game, there's the middle game, and there's the end game. Now, in the beginning game, you're trying to move your pawns forward. And a pawn can only move basically one square at a time. But it's a very important piece. In the middle game, you're trying to develop your knights and your bishop. But in the end game, you're trying to develop your rooks. Now, a rook can move all across the board, but he can't move across the board. He moves vertically and horizontally, but he can't move across the board if something's in his path. But by the end game, if that rook, if that castle is trying to get to the other side of the board, and there's an open lane, but he can't do it on that line, maybe sometimes he just has to move over one square, and once he moves over that one square, everything opens up. Church, God's trying to move you over before he moves you up. You gotta make a little change. You gotta step to the side of something that you haven't been doing, and God's gonna tell you what to do. You gotta leave your father's house, which symbolizes comfort. If you're too comfortable where you haven't been reading the word, you're watching too much TV and not praying and reading enough, God's gotta move you over so that the lane will be open, and then you can go on and get on down the road. Come on, somebody. You can really do what God's wanting you to do. Now listen, it doesn't matter what age you are, but what matters is your vision. It's not about your age, it's about your attitude. You got to have the right vision, because the blessing is too great. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. The blessing was so great that even Abraham, at 75 years old, you figure 75 years old, man, wise, knows everything. No. That vision was too great, because he said, in you, all the families of the earth are going to be blessed. So Abraham at 75 couldn't conceive that. I said he couldn't conceive it. Abraham at 85, he couldn't conceive that. Come on, church. I said Abraham at 95 couldn't conceive that. God had to hook the brother up. What did he do? Watch what he did. First, Romans 4:18, it said, Abraham believed. Now God's calling him Abraham. So he's getting closer to the actualization of the vision. So he's not calling him exalted father anymore. He's calling him father of what? Many nations. Why? Because it's time now for him to have Isaac. It's time for him to have that son. Look what it says. It says Abraham believed and hoped, even when there was no reason for hope. In other words, even when he saw no way for this thing to come to pass. Anybody been in a situation where you believe God wanted something for you, but you don't see any way for this thing to come? Well, how can this thing come to pass? Because I ain't got no money. Can I talk to the no money folk for a second? How can this come to pass, Lord? Because I mean, they're talking about I ain't got no down. I ain't got no money down for the house. I ain't got no money down for the car. I ain't got no money. But you got, but somebody say, but God. But God. Somebody say, he said. He said. I'm a son of Abraham through Christ. And he's got a great blessing for me. Now all you got to do is have great faith and you can step on in that car. You can step on in that house. You can do that thing. Because he said, look what the Lord said. He said, your descendants will be as many as the stars. There it is. What the Lord is going to do is he's going to give you some spiritual vision so that you can see it. Because if you can see it, you can be it. If you understand what I'm saying? He said, look at the stars, Abraham. He said, can you count them? He said, no, I can't. He said, that's how many descendants you're going to have. And then Abraham believed and he hoped, even though he didn't yet see not one son. He hoped even though he did not see. See, I can hope, I can believe that this church is going to be a church of tithers, even though there's only a few tithers here. But that's okay because God has given me a vision. And he said, everybody in this church is going to tithe and going to thrive. Everybody in this church is going to give and going to live. Everybody in this church is going to be blessed because they're going to catch it. They're going to catch the vision. Once you can't be what you don't see, and once you start seeing this thing that would pass, one day it's going to hit you like, what they say, oops, upside your head. One day it's going to hit you, you're going to be like, man, I tried that thing one time. Pastor was right. He only been telling me that for 10 years, but he was right. Oh my God. I just got the biggest blessing. Oh my God. I think I better keep tithing. And you keep doing that. Watch this. Not only will you receive the windows of heaven blessing, but you know what he's going to do? He's going to hold back the devourer for your sake. Church, I'm here to tell you right now. That way, if he could have even just said that, that would be enough right there. Somebody say, hold him back, Jesus. See, I'm talking about the devil messing with your stuff, your money, and the things your money buys. I'm telling you, when you tithe, God promised you, and his word shall not return void. He's going to hold back the creditors. He's going to hold back the repo man. He's going to hold back your wash machine from breaking down. He's going to hold back your tire from blowing out on the freeway. Y'all not praying with me. I said the Lord is going to do it, but he needs your faith. He needs your seed. He needs your obedience, and he's going to do it in the name of Jesus. Now watch this, church. I said that God's going to bless you greater than you can imagine. And I want to finish with this. I just want to conclude with this. I want you to know that God did this for Abraham when he was 100 years old. Somebody say there's hope. There's hope. See, that I just covered everybody in here. You ain't nobody in here 100 yet, right? See, there's hope. You still in the race. You still in the race. You still got time. Amen. Turn to the next side. I still got time. Listen. He blessed Abraham. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the blessings of Abraham that are yours through who? Christ. Through Christ. You are a son of, say, I'm a son of Abraham. I'm a son of Abraham. Through Christ. Through Christ. Therefore, I have the blessings of Abraham. I have the blessings of through Christ. Through Christ. Give God some praise. Are you getting this? Are you getting this? And what is that blessing? He said he's going to bless. What is that blessing? He said he's going to bless you to be a blessing. Way beyond what you can imagine. And he said he's going to make your what? Your name great. Now here's what I want to tell you. It has nothing to do with your age. And watch this. I'm here to tell you, again, it has nothing to do not only with your age, it has nothing to do with your gender. Oh, I want to talk to the sister for a second. I said I want to talk to the sister for a second. Right now I've been talking about Abraham and it sounds like it's a all boys club. But I got news for you that we fast forward now. We were in the Old Testament. Now we're going to fast forward to the New Testament. And we're going to pick it up right in the New Testament. And we got somebody in the New Testament who also received the blessings of Abraham. But guess what? I got news for you. They didn't happen to be a man. They didn't even happen to be an adult. They didn't happen to be no 100 or old. It was a woman, and she was young, and her name was Mary. And guess what? I got news for you. I got it on good authority that she was an offspring of Abraham. I said she was an offspring of Abraham. You don't believe me? You look at her lineage in Matthew 1 and Luke 3. I said she came directly from the line of Abraham. Church, because she was a seed or an offspring of Abraham, she had a great blessing blessing coming to her. So when the angel came and said, "Hail Mary, you are blessed in what? Highly favored." Come on, somebody. And then he said, I'm gonna bless you. What is he gonna do? The blessing of Abraham is to bless you to be a what? To be a blessing. I'm gonna bless you so that you can be a blessing, once again, to all nations. How are you gonna be a blessing? You're gonna actually bring Christ into the earth. You're gonna actually bring Christ. See, women, don't you ever despise your role of motherhood. Don't you ever despise that when God is trying to bring a life into the earth through you, you don't know down the generations if that's the next Booker T. Washington. You don't know who that is. You don't know if that's the next Barack Obama. You're bringing this child into the earth to be a blessing to the earth. And God said, I'm going to bless you, and I'm going to bless your seed. And watch this. And he said, and I'm going to make your name great. He said, you are blessed and highly favored among what? Amongst women. Am I right about that? So watch this. You don't have to be old. You don't have to be a man. You can be young. You could be a woman. But I got to finish with this one. We're going to fast forward a little further into the new covenant. And that is this man named Paul. There was a man, his name was Saul. God changed his name later on to Paul. Can I get a witness? But his name was Saul because as Saul, he was a persecutor of the church. What I'm trying to tell you right now is God can bless you with the blessings of Abraham. We know that Paul was a Pharisee of Pharisees. He was a son of Abraham. So God had a blessing with his name on it. But I'm here to tell you that the man was enemy number one of the church. Somebody ought to say amen. That man was guilty of being the worst persecutor of the church. But God called his name and said, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? There was a man named Ananias. Ananias said, no, you can't bless him. He is enemy number one of the church. But the Lord said, he is a chosen vessel unto me, and I'm going to have him testify of me before kings. Come on, somebody. In other words, what I'm trying to tell you is this today. I hope you're getting this. That God has a great blessing for you if you're in the line of Abraham. He's going to bless you to be a blessing, and he's going to make your name great. He did that with Abraham. He did that with Mary. He did that even though she was poor, even though she had no position, even though she was a woman. He used that woman to make her name great because she did a great work, because she stayed in great faith. And though she had to travel 90 miles to deliver the baby Jesus in Bethlehem, God said, I'm going to bless you, Mary, because you believe what the angel told you, because she said, let it be unto me according to your word. God is looking for some let it be according to me, according to your word. Folks, do we have any up in here today? I said God is looking for some people of great faith. And then Paul, he said, Paul, you're going to go out and you're going to testify of me all throughout the known world. And Paul said, amen. He said, I'm going to do exactly what you said. Church, your past might be wrecked up from the neck up. It might be torn from the floor up. You might have messed up every which way but loose. You might have said, but there's no way that God can use me. I've been in jail. I did wrong. I lied. I cheated. I had babies out of wedlock. Even my daddy and mommy said I was no good. But I'm here to tell you, if God can use somebody like Paul, it's just he looked down and said, is he a son of Abraham? He said, well, I got a great blessing for him. You need to hear what I'm saying today. There was a man, his name was Zacchaeus. And the Bible says he was a little short fella. He had to climb up in a tree to see Jesus. But do you know what happened? Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to you, that kid. And it caught me when I was doing my daily reading. He said, because you are a son of Abraham. I'm trying to tell you, you need to catch that thing. I said, what? He said, Zacchaeus said, if I took money from anybody, in other words, he done ripped off some folk, he was one of the tax collectors, he done ripped off some people, done all kinds of stuff to people. But God said, because you are a son of Abraham, he said, salvation, forgiveness, redemption has come to you. What am I here to tell you today? I don't care what you've done. I don't care who you did it with or who you did it to. What I'm here to tell you today is that God is a God of great grace. God is a God of great mercy. He said, I'm going to bless you with the blessing of Abraham. And he said, I'm going to do it for my name's sake. I'm going to do it so you can be a blessing to somebody else. And I'm going to do it to make your name great. And you haven't seen, eye has not seen,